Hello, my name is Ned, and I'm the host of Black Box Online Radio. On the weekends, I've been doing a debunking series where I talk about the Zodiac killer suspects that I think are absolutely not the Zodiac killer. First, I would like to give a shout out to YouTube user Dariusz Glavic, who requested today's episode, saying, "I like the series. How about Ted Cruz for the next one?" While there's a chance that this may have been a joke or satire, or not meant to be taken seriously, ask and thou shalt receive. So if you have any ideas for Zodiac killer suspects that you would like to hear about, please put them in the comment section, and if I agree with you that this person is absolutely not the Zodiac killer, they might appear in the debunking series. Ted Cruz is someone who, of course, was not the Zodiac killer because he is perhaps the only suspect who didn't exist when the murders occurred in 1968 and 69, because Ted Cruz was born in 1970. But I guess that means that his parents were having sex at the time, so good for them, I suppose. But there's also no evidence of Spanglish in the Zodiac letters, not using any words like leche and so on. And the Zodiac killer was never seen making any of those awkward gestures that Ted Cruz is known for in any of the witness sightings. And I know that that's just a bunch of silliness. But I would actually like to use this opportunity to talk to you guys about something serious. I think it was an article that I was reading from Mel Magazine that said, "Why did this Ted Cruz Zodiac killer meme start? Is it possible that people start talking about Ted Cruz as the Zodiac killer because the general public does not want the mystery to be solved? That some people think the chase is more fun than the catch, or they like expanding the mystery out into new generations, and some people are just all about trying to solve the murder mystery that can't be solved. Is that really what's going on?" And the evidence that they were stating was that people are talking about how Ted Cruz could be the Zodiac killer when he wasn't even born at the time. It means they just want this to keep going on and on and on like a hamster wheel. And some people think that there's a certain type of addictive element in an unsolved mystery. Here on Black Box Online Radio, I must be doing something right, because for the first time, somebody wrote to me and said, "You don't want the Zodiac killer case to be solved, because then you'd have nothing to talk about." Well, I appreciate you following the channel all the same, whoever that person was. But if they reveal that the case is going to be closed tomorrow, I'll accept the result. And I also will share something with you guys. The vast majority of people do not believe that the chase is more fun than the catch. No. You ever watched a sports team play, whether it's the Super Bowl or the World Series? Are they celebrating more before they have won the game or after? It's usually after the final score has been announced. There's always this celebration that comes with the catch. Maybe after the catch, there's some kind of like downward slope, and then you're like, well, what do I do next? I'll tell you what we will do next. In the true crime world, how about looking at some other mysteries? I mean, was the Zodiac killer the only unsolved mystery? No, I don't think so. And in all seriousness, let's not kid ourselves. Perhaps this Ted Cruz meme about being the Zodiac killer started because not everybody was sure when Ted Cruz was born, and not everybody knew the exact dates of the Zodiac killer crimes. And yes, I'm sure if you're watching this video, you probably knew all of this ahead of time. But the general public, maybe not. And they're like, oh yeah, well maybe he was in California. Maybe he was also in Canada. I don't know, Ted Cruz has a crazy life. I don't think about him too much. But I think that a lot of it is just the lack of information in the general public, as well as some people just want to have a laugh. They know that Ted Cruz isn't the Zodiac killer. They just thought it was funny. It's different. In the brain, there's that dopamine surge that comes from unconventional behavior, and They're just being different and weird and silly. Being weird may not be a crime, but it certainly feels good to some people who have their neurochemistry wired in a particular way. I mean, I just thought it was so remarkable that they really wanted to zone in on someone who was born 2 years after the first murders took place. And the interesting thing about Ted Cruz is that he was born on December 22nd of 1970. I just looked that up. That is very close to the proximity of the Lake Herman Road murders. It's like almost 2 years to the day. I mean, off by 2 days, of course, but I don't think he was driving any vehicles down the back roads of Vallejo and Benicia in Northern California. That's the best alibi in the world. Well, don't look at me. I didn't exist. If only life were that simple. But I think that some people like to make fun of politicians, and it's not even so much about the substance. It's just because they're politicians. Anything that they can say that is just silly and different and weird, and it's just going to go in all types of directions. And in this case, it went in somewhat of a nonsensical direction. But no, I do think the majority of sleuths actually want to solve the case, and especially if somebody has a theory out there that they have put forward to the world. Maybe they made 500 YouTube videos about it, or maybe they have published a book about it. That person wants the mystery to be solved. Think about any sleuth, writer, YouTuber, podcaster. That type of person wants the case to be solved because they want to be like, look here, I was right. I figured it out. I mean, yes, of course, closure, justice for the victims' families, bringing a sense of righteousness to the subject, all of that, but also the person who has written the book detailing this suspect or group of people who committed the Zodiac crimes, they want to be proven right. And there's nothing wrong with that. They didn't commit those atrocities. They didn't commit the murders. They simply figured out how it was done. So maybe the general public is in a similar boat. We saw this very clearly with the Golden State Killer case, and in fact, many people were unfamiliar with the Golden State Killer case before D'Angelo was apprehended. And then once there was this enormous breakthrough, as well as, of course, the book I'll Be Gone in the Dark also raised a lot of exposure to that one. But after the apprehension, there was a newly reborn interest in the Golden State Killer mystery, and then people are learning about not only who was this person, but how were these crimes committed, what were the reasons that made this person do that. And in the Zodiac Killer mystery, you're going to have absolutely the same thing. If they actually know who the person is, then you can have those types of psychological discussions. And you can be like, okay, this is what this means, that is what that means. And you don't need somebody like Ted Cruz. If anything, that'll put an end to these far-out theories involving people who weren't even born, and people who party hard in Cancun, and so to speak. But something else, though, that I think is a little bit unexpected. If they do find the identity of the Zodiac Killer, they might try and attribute him to other crimes worldwide, because that happens with other cases. If there's another unsolved mystery, they're going to say, okay, the Zodiac Killer was also this other serial killer. And H.H. Holmes, the serial killer, gets accused of being Jack the Ripper. I talked about the Golden State Killer. He becomes a genuine suspect in the mystery of Mr. Cruel from Australia. But then they're like, well, did he ever go to Australia? Was H.H. Holmes ever in England, so to speak? So I think those are far-fetched theories that are very wild and wacky. But what do you think? And do you think Ted Cruz was the Zodiac Killer? And what is your response to that challenge question? Do people come up with crazy, ridiculous suspects like that because they don't want the mystery to be solved and they just want to use it to fuel their own entertainment, emotional desires, as well as the chase is more fun than the catch. Do people actually want to live in that world, or do they actually want to solve the mystery? What do you think? You can put your ideas down below. As always, like, subscribe, visit any of the links in the description box, and until next time.